Latency check. Latency check. Jesus Christ, was. I've got the YouTube latency set to ultra low, so I don't know if it's in Streamlabs or if it's something I'm actually doing myself. I've got the YouTube latency set to ultra low, so I don't know if it's in Streamlabs or if it's something I'm actually doing myself. It doesn't sound like the latency's actually that bad. It's about 16 seconds. Not sure if I can make that any better. At least not this time around. Anyway. We are going to start in just a second. Okay. Close that. Okay. So let's switch windows. First, as anybody on Twitter has been following, I've been looking up this weird cult for like seven months now. Yeah. And it's amazing. And I'm gonna warn you now, the website is bad. It kind of reminds me of those old GeoCities websites. Like you can like make it yourself. You just basic code, not much going on. But the I see he's changed these. These used to pulsate, and they were really bad. They give you a migraine. But this is the Solist Mysticism encapsulated website for as far as I know, it's just one guy and his son. all I've been able to find. I haven't been able to find actual members or anyone else who actually believes this. It's been very difficult to find information beyond the Quora of the actual founder. I mean, he does have 2 first names, so that makes it looking for anything on him pretty difficult. Excuse me. But we're gonna start with you'll figure out fairly quickly that he pulls from everywhere. This cult, that's what I would call it, even if it's a cult of just 2, has everything. Every conspiracy you could think of. Every single one. You want flat earth? They got it. He also worships women. This is the more tame picture. I'm going to have to cut out occasionally to avoid titties. See, Paul Richard. That's why it's so hard to find anything on him. He has 2 first names. What the shit? You've got Zetans. You got your aliens. You got your mysticism. You got your flat earth. We'll come back to the links. You've got, of course, another lady. Zatan stars, artificial suns. Flat earth, of course. What cult is complete without the flat earth? Donut Universe. This is not the first time I've seen Donut Universe, but it's the first time I've seen Donut Universe in conjunction with Flat Earth. I've just never seen the 2 together. It's usually one or the other. He brings in Eastern philosophy with yoga and reincarnation. His religion, they go through tiers. Like, you've got your lower gods, which I don't even know how to explain how his reincarnation, I guess, theory works, because it's so batshit. It's like based on your solar, not your solar, your spiritual energy, how much spiritual energy you have, your chakra. Some of it is, your typical new age woo, stuff that was very popular in like the mid 90s to the early 2000s, with your crystals, your everyone's a spiritual being, you're made of stars kind of stuff. Very popular with people who believed in indigo children. Gotta watch out for the goddess things, because some of them are naked. So we'll have to keep an eye out. But apparently everyone is capable of manifesting their spiritual energy as light, but only if you've reached certain levels of goddesshood. It's weird. Like, there's 2 facets of God. God is apparently light that predates reality, but then again, they're also rarefied but not infinite space God. I don't know what that means, but apparently the intelligent designer is a supreme nature goddess named Sophia, who orchestrated the Big Bang. So essentially, the entire thing is based on the, I guess, worship of women, even if it's indirectly. Now, as we get further down, you're gonna start seeing familiar names, but we're gonna look at the cosmology first. The non-living light of God always existed, always will exist. So you've got they implement Christian or Judeo-Christian aspects in fun and interesting ways. So that's always fun. But I do like the idea of it being a female higher being. That's not something you see just everywhere. I mean, it's unique. Primordial space. So you've got the mixing of space woo, religious woo, and just there's so much going on. Anybody I've ever sent this link to just becomes overwhelmed with just how much is going on. There's so much going on in this website. We're not even halfway through the page, and we still have links to hit. It's there's so much. Souls were not created but are fragments or fractals of light of the intelligent designer, manifesting after the Big Bang. The intelligent designer, who is more feminine than masculine, completely and irrevocably divided up the Godhead, i.e. her consciousness, into billions of yellow energy spirits in the fourth astral plane. This feels almost like, what was Scientology's thing? Like everybody had thetans in them or something. It kind of reminds me of that. But crazier. If it's possible to be more insane than Scientology, they've done it. They talk about deists, more of the Sophia, supreme nature goddess Sophia, Akashic records. Something about spiritual mathematics, which is again another, I believe, Eastern philosophy. Let's get into the fun stuff. Here we go. We're a unique civilization in that we are the only one that is mammalian based, also technologically advanced. This is mainly due to more intelligent yet spiritually retarded reptilian alien influence over hundreds of thousands of years. We're getting to the aliens. Yes. The most humanoid realms that are mammalian embrace medieval technology. The most technologically advanced civilization is not mammalian, but more reptilian based. And there we go, we've got the reptilians. And referred to as the Reticulan Empire. Sorry. I'm picturing those aliens from The Simpsons. Abundant alien abduction testimony confirms the imperialistic and service to self, STS, as opposed to service to others, STO, nature of the Reticulans/Zetans. And here we have the Zetans. See, there's a lot of crossover from different religions, different cults, different science fiction, just genres in general. Like I said at the beginning, this has everything that you could ask for in a batshit insane. Just, This could be why I haven't found anybody else who espouses, who is going along with this. There's I can find nothing. Just this and his Q-aura. That's it. That's literally it. How I first found these, I was on YouTube looking for an Ancient Aliens episode to just tear apart. And an ad came on. And the ad was over an hour long. And I'm looking at it like, what the hell is this? And then I clicked the link in the description of the ad, and it led me here, and I was like, oh my god. I've been on the search for that ad for 6 months, and I cannot find it again. I'm sure someone else out there has seen it, It's this guy, he's in like a brown suit in like a room that you would see in Ancient Aliens where they're talking their shit. And he's just like talking about the reptilians have come and they're gonna rebuild the empire and all this. And I'm just like, oh, this is so interesting but insane. It was just it caught my attention. I didn't watch the whole thing because I'm not stupid, but it caught my attention. I'll just say that. Yeah. Let's get back to this. He intends to, in this page, answer some questions, and they don't really ever get answered. They just kind of tell you this is just how it is. They don't tell you really why, but it's there to take as for you to I guess analyze for yourself. But with the website having black and white text on a bright ass blue background, you're gonna give yourself a migraine even trying. Here they go into what the discarnate realms and the sorcerers and prophets are. They go into the planes. The planes are interesting. The first plane, and they're colored, so I don't know if that is related to the chakra colors or not. They don't explain that, but they do explain that some of the colors are for like auras. Like your aura will reflect your plane, what plane you're on, and spirits cannot hide their aura from those in the flesh as you're channeling them. So apparently clairvoyancy and communing with spirits is a part of this as well. Like I said, everything. But we've got our first plane, which is, brown. You just look like you're surrounded by a shit aura. In this set of dimensions, spirits are very weak, and they're diminished in consciousness, and to channel anyone in the flesh, and cannot combine into a group entity. It's apparently a hell plane. Why would that not be a red instead of brown? But, I mean, I'm not Avadar, so I don't get to make the rules. Then you got your second plane, which is red. That's where your spirits combine into demonic group entities, making them appear as a singular demonic personality when they're just a bunch of inferior spirits. Kind of reminds me of high school. Like when you get a bunch of weirdo kids in a group and then they suddenly become like one big weirdo. I can say that I was one of the weirdos. We had a weirdo group. But they can only maintain their astral gestalt for a period of like minutes. So they're not very powerful, I guess. There's a lot of words here that's doing a lot of work that don't actually mean anything. He's very wordy. Lots of words, not a lot of substance. Third plane orange. Lots of humanoid spirits. Basic level of spirituality. Fourth plane yellow. That's where your discarnate communities and your religious heavens are located. Cities of light, that kind of stuff. This is also the dimension that contains an alien spirit group who promotes soul recycling. This is what they call their reincarnation. It's soul recycling. Weird. But, I mean, I guess it's not really that weird. It's just that it's soul recycling by an alien instead of reincarnation from a spiritual hierarchy. I guess it's not really that weird. It's just the alien soul tower that makes it a little weird. Because the soul tower is on the far side of the moon, by the way. Which is why you can't see it. You've got your group entities that provide the power behind sorcerers and Reiki practitioners. Yellow energy group entities. The yellow energy, if you remember, is entities that have pieces of the supreme nature goddess. So you've got your, if they have the yellow group energies, I guess they have more control and influence over your regular people. You've got your Christian GE. I don't know what a Christian GE is. I don't even know what a GE is. But you've got your Christians, your Islamic, Buddhist, Reticulan. I like how they just throw fucking Reticulans in there. Hindu and Jewish and New Age GEs. I don't know what GE is, and it doesn't even tell you what GE means. It just slaps it in there like you're supposed to know what it means. Your fifth, you've got your violet, which is where you've got it's apparently much more exclusive, and they're a little more practiced in their yellow energy counterparts. They don't want to be worshipped. You've got your various energy healers like Qigong, Adept John Chang / Dynamo Jack. I don't know who this is. I'm not even gonna look it up because it's probably... We've got more interesting people further down. People you'll actually recognize. The sixth plane is your sky blue. This is where you have your saints that begin their journey to become a light onto oneself. I do not know what that means, and it's not really like explained fully. I mean, I can assume from context clues that they become the light of the goddess, but that's just my assumption. Then you've got your there's so many planes. You got your seventh plane, which is white. I guess that's why it was brown for the first one, because there's so many planes, and there's only so many colors. But you've got your seventh plane, which is white. More saints, but they're better saints than the fifth plane. So there's even a hierarchy in your saints, which just seems kind of shitty. You've got true ascended masters. This is where Master Avadar came from when he incarnated in 1960. Within the high end of this plane is where psionic saints will reside in spiritual vibration. I guess they just vibrate the whole time, just very slightly, just vibrate. God. I just picture somebody sitting there in robes just vibrating. Like anybody remember those old cartoons where the guy was nervous and his whole body looked like it was shaking? That's what I'm picturing. And it's hilarious. Eighth plane, intense white. Now the next 4 planes are all intense white. So what's the difference? Why not just make it all 8th plane and make it all intense white with just like all these people in it? It doesn't make any sense to make them 4 different planes if they're all going to be the same color. How do you tell them apart? Since you know they can't hide their aura, how can you tell an 8th plane from an 11th plane if they're still white? Found a loophole. Okay, in your 8th plane, you've got your lesser gods and your magi, which are... I'm sure we're pretty sure what a magi is. 9th plane, high-end or advanced lesser gods, or paramagi. I don't know what the difference between a paramagi and a magi is. I don't care enough to look. I can assume they're kind of like magicians. 10th is where you have your space gods and your elders. And they're constantly in spiritual vibration as well. And your 11th plane for rarefied space gods and elders. It was the initial home of the infinite light of the intelligent designer supreme nature goddess Aluna when she enters the space-time continuum from the very first time. Apparently, the space goddess can go in and out of the time continuum. Interesting. Why she has wings, couldn't tell you. Because, like I said, the website, if you look at it too long, it does give you a migraine, especially if you're on a mobile device. We're going to look at very invisible to those in the flesh and very real to spirits. You're going to see some names. We'll get to them. But, oh no, there's no number 1. It just goes straight to number 2. Lazy. Please proofread before publishing. If you're on different planes, apparently you can look down, but you can't look up, which is weird. Someone on the 6th plane can look to see what's happening on the 4th plane, but they cannot see what the discarnate saints are doing because they're on a higher level. It's like they're almost invisible. Granted, there are unstable discarnate saints called Vernians. Vernians were not mentioned before now. He's pulling the shit out of his ass as he goes. You can't just do that. You can't go through all of your like levels of people and then suddenly pull a new one out of your ass. It doesn't work that way. It's like somebody going, oh, you've got gods, you've got the Trinity, you've got the saints, and then suddenly there's someone between the Trinity and the saints. Well, I mean, there already is, but what if you didn't know that? And then you're like, bullshit. What the hell is this? Where did this come from? You got your 4th plane, again, where we're talking about yellow energy entities. This is where we're going to get into some names you're going to know. And you can laugh, it's fine. It's the power behind former prophets like Jesus, Isa, and Moses. The former sorcerer King Solomon, and present-day sorcerers like Chris Angel. Chris Angel and David Blaine. Let that sink in. They equivocated Jesus to Chris Angel. If you equivocated Jesus to David Blaine, do not let David Blaine know. His head would become enormous. He would eat that shit up if somebody showed him this. He's already an egomaniac. My God. Oh. Apparently, these entities often persecute pre-ascended masters and are vehemently opposed to real lesser gods and real space gods emerging. They're big mad if they... Jesus is big mad if they're... Jesus gets real big mad if you're a higher aura than he is. Oh, when I first read this up, I died. Oh no. Oh. On the yellow group, entities greatly oppose the emergence of the intelligent designer and wish to delay it from happening for as long as possible. Chris Angel is preventing the supreme natural goddess Aluna from returning. Blame him. Apparently, Chris Angel and David Blaine are preventing people from peacefully astral projecting to their respective godhead, excuse me. they know that the future ascended masters will enable the intelligent designer to come here for the very first time. So they, right now, these present day sorcerers, magicians, Chris Angel, David Blaine, and others like them, are preventing the intelligent designer goddess from coming to our plane, I guess, as Earth for the very first time. They're saying, no. Go away. No. Oh, it sounds more insane when you say it out loud. Chris Angel can't do shit. He can't get out of Vegas. Much less prevent anything. The Judeo-Christian Islamic spirits, many of which are incarnate today, promote a self-perpetuating delusion of divinity. So I guess they're saying that they're delusional? That sentence only makes a little bit of sense when in relation to other sentences, but the whole thing doesn't make any sense. So it's just a smaller piece of a larger puzzle that makes no damn sense. Prior to birth, the souls of prophets and sorcerers were elected. They were elected. Who voted for them? It says by the respective discarnate community on the fourth plane. Or the fifth plane. So, did Jesus vote for Chris Angel? If he did, he should have his voting rights taken away. Just, whoop, cut him off. Something about a man who could manifest flowers but was not indicative of spiritual attainment. Not sure what that... If you can manifest flowers... I mean, you're obviously doing something. How that's not indicative of spiritual attainment, I'm not sure. We've got King Solomon again, and also Simon Magus, and now Chris Angel's mentioned again, David Blaine again, and the formerly the Russian Stephen Frayne. See that the sentence structure is weird because they've got the in brackets, formerly the Russian energy healer of the mystic Gregory Rasputin, in brackets after Dynamo / Stephen Frayne, as if they're saying that they're the same person, which obviously they're not, which is weird. He needs an editor, a really good one. I know of someone who's got a degree in English who can help you. Email me, Richard, Mr. Richard. I've already forgotten his first name. Oh no. Now, they take a quote from Jennifer Lawrence talking to David Blaine about, if you started a religion, I would follow it. That seems a little out of context, but they go on to say that that's exactly how all traditional religions were started. Are they saying that they're not the same? We're literally looking at the manifesto of a religion that he just thought it up. Which, I mean, is not a lie. All religions started with someone just making it up. But this is... Well, I mean, it's not any weirder than any other religion. It's just in the context of today that it's weird. I think I want to talk more about Chris Angel. They seem to have a weird obsession with Chris Angel. He's a parlor magician. That's it. Nothing he does is real. I don't know why there's this idea that it's true when it's not. I mean, the illusions are fun. They're entertainment. But he's not... I don't even know where I'm going with it. I go on to Swami Sai Baba. I don't know much about it. They mentioned Supernatural, where he plays Chris Angel again. Jesus. Plays an actual magician with actual magical powers that doesn't have them anymore. It's like they took that episode of Supernatural and thought, hey, this is real. This is real. It sounds like something. This whole thing reads like super Hulockian shit. It's exactly what it reads like. It reads like a manifesto from Tumblr circa 2009 or 10 even. Jeez. Mention the History Channel. Of course, can't talk about aliens without the History Channel, a purveyor of pseudoscience. Mention more about Christian God, and I've got the Borg Picard down here. It just goes into a lot about the sorcerers and the yellow energy, which frankly doesn't mean shit to me. I can't make it through without getting confused and having to actually look up the people he's talking about, because he talks about them like you already know who they are. Most people are not gonna know just off the top of their head who Dynamo is. They're just not. Here we get into the goddess. And you've got yoga. You gotta go. God yoga is the route to eventually become a lesser god. So again, we have the introduction of Eastern philosophy. Just kind of thrown in there. I guess if you want to make it look more esoteric and sound more new agey, you add yoga. Goes into fascism and communism without actually explaining what that has to do with anything. The best political focus to embrace in order to be a stable saint, and especially a God-realized master, is that of a moderate conservative. Imagine that. Third, homosexuality entails a sexually unstable focus, and therefore a spiritually unstable focus. This is especially the case with the flaming homosexual men, who are inherently very lusty and promiscuous. Take all that in. Take it all in. You've also got the infinite light doesn't allow pedophiles, typically, but not always homosexual men, to become stable saints. Pedophiles are not typically homosexual. I'm not going to get into that, but this little bit tells you a lot about Mr. Richard. He's a conservative, and he doesn't like gay people. To sum it up, one cannot harbor negative feelings of resentment or competition towards Master Avadar, for he provided the... Now, Master Avadar is Richard, by the way. For he provided the method to God realization in the first place, and in this space-time continuum, and so anyone who uses HCR/God Yoga automatically has a karmic debt to him for that very reason. One also cannot be a totalitarian or collectivist, i.e. giving a group priority over the individual. And one also cannot be a flaming homosexual in focus if one wants to become, through conscientious and regular purified radiance, a stable god. He sounds like Christian. Christian also had an issue with flaming homosexuals. However, the quiet lesbian couple, or the quiet homosexual couple who don't try to promote homosexuality as being on par with heterosexual relationships, and who don't try to promote homosexual culture in classrooms to children, moderate homosexuals as opposed to flaming homosexuals, do have the ability to evolve. To eventually switch to a heterosexual focus. I don't know how to take this. If you are a closet or very quiet and meek gay couple who don't promote anything about yourself, and if you don't see yourself as equal to heterosexual people, you too can evolve to be straight through Avadar's God Yoga. Holy crap. Oh, God. This is one's thoughts must be carefully monitored. Is Master Avadar monitoring the lesbian thoughts? Is that what he's doing? Is he a pervert? I think he's a pervert. It's the only thing I can think of as to why that whole section existed. Spirit guides, which is strange because they're all women that used to be men. I'll get into that. Saint Alexa, formerly the scientist and highly influential mystic Emanuel Swedenborg, and more recently the short-lived model and actress Dorothy Stratton. I do not know who Dorothy Stratton is, but the influential mystic Emanuel Swedenborg, Sweden. Again, we've got, like I said, we've got a man that apparently through his spiritual evolution became a female saint. Saint Akira, formerly the mathematical genius Srinivasa I'm not gonna try it. I'm just gonna Raman. I'm going to fuck it up, but I will highlight it. There you go. I do not. I'll mess it up. But Srinivasa, Srinivasa. Over the years, this discarnate saint has provided significant numerical higher awareness, like the number of soul fractals of the intelligent designer, and is the main evolutionary analyst of Master Avadar. So, again, female saint is the main analyst of Master Avadar. Richard, as a conservative who does not like gay people who think they are equivalent to their straight counterparts, is led by female saints who used to be men. Saint Amelia, formerly the artist and genius Leonardo da Vinci. She's the main designer of all the future buildings. Creative. Saint Aura, formerly the electrical engineering genius Nikola Tesla. She serves as a prophetess and also an evolutionary analyst, occasionally backing up numerical awareness given by Saint Akira. Again, very creative. You've got an engineer backing up a mathematician with math. And Saint Elia, formerly the model and actress Sharon Tate. That's it. That's it. Saint Elia does nothing else. She wasn't a mathematical genius, an artist, a engineer, or anything. Just Sharon Tate. That's it. And there's Sharon Tate right there. The saints listed above will all be spiritually upgraded into lesser God realization by a future ascended Master Avadar, He's gonna turn Sharon Tate into a god. Richard Master Avadar is gonna turn Sharon Tate into a lesser god. Sharon Tate. I'm not gonna go into how they ascend because it's very long and it is very complicated. It does a lot with the yoga and your chakras, but it's very convoluted. He goes back into the fascists and the communists. Here's a new one. One cannot be officially or unofficially be allied with the Reticulan Empire. The reptilians that kidnap humans for food and to be used as slaves. The Reticulan Empire apparently uses Terra, which is Earth, as a farm to be able to stabilize the higher stages of God realization. One must embrace the nobler focus of Terran independence and the end of all alien harvesting. This sounds like Battlefield Earth. This sounds exactly like Battlefield Earth. He is basically plagiarizing L. Ron Hubbard, but changing just enough so he can get a passing grade. Amazing. It seems he tries to hide a lot of the similarities to other science fiction based cults and religions, and just frankly science fiction in general, with a fluff language. You get so overwhelmed with all this information dump that you can't look any closer into anything. It's weird. Goes back into psionic saints. Still doesn't really explain what a psionic saint is, as opposed to a regular saint. You've got your spiritual meritocracy. That's apparently slowly coming to fruition, which will be headed by intelligent designer Aluna Shakti Avadar and the future Urian virtue Athenas. So now we're adding Greek mythology too. But you see, Avadar is always the center or just off center from every big thing in this cult. It is literally a cult of narcissism. He has to be involved with every big step of it. False prophecies. You've got your goddess, Luna. She apparently is gonna just fuck shit up. The 44 realms does not go into what 44 realms is. I guess he assumes you already know what that means. Goes into of the 44 realms that were designed and manifested by the intelligent designer to foster humanoid life, Terra has become the most corrupt and evil of them all. 44 realms, that sounds vaguely Nordic, like Norse. How many realms were there? Like Jotunheim. How many of those were there? I don't even know, but it sounds like a lot. There is more governmental corruption, totalitarian, corruption and imperialism, rape, sexual abuse, sex trafficking, pedophilia, slavery, murder, terrorism, reptilians, regular kidnapping Homo sapiens. Their palates prefer blonde-haired, blue-eyed children. Aryans. God. We've got... Oh, God. Is there... I apparently didn't read this close enough because I missed that. Is there going to be Nazi rhetoric too? Moreover, I don't like that. And they want to eat blonde-haired, blue-eyed children. Watch out, Lily. Moreover, reptilians use the glandular extracts of Homo sapiens as vitamin supplements. Oh, God. Oh. It takes at least one adequately skilled and ascended level 1 lesser god, an LG1. So we can power up to be able to manifest time travel into a parallel or alternate timeline and into the past. If an ascended lesser god were to bring intelligent designer Aluna Shakti here ahead of Avadar, that is fine by him. Of course it's fine by him. Great. Bring his giant, intelligent goddess. That's fine. Bring her. He feels we all owe the intelligent designer the right to finalize her goal of being in the space-time continuum. See, supreme nature radiant sex goddess Aluna. I told y'all it was an alien sex cult. I haven't gotten to the sex yet. On September 16th, 2018, there was a rare visitation from the spirit of Albert Einstein. He came to Avadar, of course. Of course it's Avadar. Who else would it be? I was given a vision of Einstein as an old man and perceived that there was some struggle in him to provide a message, probably due to astral opposition. Later in the day, the message was revised for clarity, but it still held the same basic meaning. Albert Einstein's message to our master, Avadar, Richard. Despite being generally ignored, your theories are correct. Okay. Then on June 6, 2020, this was recently, the spirits of Albert Einstein, Robert Monroe, and Marjorie Fish all confirmed that there are thousands of stars and 44 realms in existence within the span of 2 galaxies. What does that mean? He just puts it out there like we're supposed to just accept it. Who's going to accept just that Albert Einstein said, yeah, dude, you're right. I traveled through time and space to give you a vision to say, my dude, you're correct in everything, even though nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit about you. But you're right. Albert Einstein being the best hot man, just supportive. Get you a man like Albert Einstein. One must strive to be purified of spirit and not of flesh. Okay. So this is how we justify a whole bunch of sex as religion. Which is whatever. All sexual energy must therefore be based in purity and genuine love. If it is not, then one will retrogress out of lesser God realization. Rejecting implanted lust from inferior spirits is very important. So you cannot mix auras, I guess is the best way to put it. You cannot mix auras with someone of an inferior spirit than yourself. But how do you know once you reach the higher levels? Like I said, there were 4 levels of intense white. How do you know that you're not bumping spiritual uglies with someone of a lower intense white aura than you if you cannot fucking tell by looking at them? It just does not make sense. One cannot wallow in lust and expect to stay highly evolved. I mean, okay. Plus, it's pretty fun. I don't care about being really evolved. Let's see. Apparently, the white energy group entities, which we discovered earlier with people like Jesus, they often apparently abuse pre-ascended masters, and they frequent, with the more frequent and intense the astral emotional abuse as you get higher in your pre-ascended journey. So I guess Avadar is saying that Jesus abused him. Jesus and Chris Angel abused him. See if we can find some more little fun little snippets. Revised 4.5.20. I have learned that evil souls can actually be destroyed through retrogression, but that it takes many years. What initially happens is that the non-living higher power on the other side, the infinite light, directly forces them to reside with shrunken consciousness and surrounded by hostility. So the infinite light Noriegas. They Noriega the dark spirit. Oh my god. Oh no. They basically send them to a very loud hell. Most souls don't find happiness on the other side because most spirits don't ascend beyond the third plane, as most are not devoted to the infinite light. Saint Aleda. That Pat Roadgast. I'll have to look up who Pat Roadgast is at some point. Write that down. That may actually be... See, this was not... The last time I was this far down into the website, this revision was not there. So we'll have to look up who. Pat Roadgast? I'll have to look up who Pat is. Telepathy is a thing, apparently. There was something about imbibing ambrosia, but physical ambrosia. I'll let you figure out what that means while I find it. Let's see. I'm scrolling very slowly because I have to be on a watch out for titties. Here we go. We went through all of that, and we're just now getting into the definitions of all the shit he said the first half. Oh, he mentioned John Edwards as a legitimate psychic medium. Well, then his Avadar, your credibility is already out the window. John Edwards. Is Avadar gonna cold read somebody? Cold read looking for his goddess. Spiritual medium. Again, John Edwards. Oh my god, John Edwards is a psychic medium, while Paul Richard / Master Avadar is a spiritual medium. So Avadar is not only a lesser god on his way to being, I guess, a direct subordinate of the nature goddess, but he's also a medium. He can apparently do it all. A real Renaissance man. You got all your spiritual purity, sin. Sin is just karmic debt, apparently. It's also sinful to be far right or far left. Parahuman form, major step above the genetically engineered reticulan Nordic body, which is a created, fully grown, beautiful, and youthful humanoid body with a much stronger immune system and much better digestive system. For women, this means no premenstrual syndrome. You won't get PMS, ladies. None. Also, no menstrual cycle. No cramps. No vaginal discharge. With no physical reproductive capability whatsoever. Moreover, the sweat glands for both men and women will be more hygienic. It's weird that he goes really deep into what's going to happen to the ladies with their parahumanoid form, but not the men. They just say, oh, men may not sweat as much. But they're still gonna be using their peens, I assume? Because they don't mention the men not having any physical reproductive capability. Which begs the question, how are we gonna get more parahuman forms? Are they just gonna continue to genetically engineer reticulan Nordic bodies? Are they just gonna grow them in a lab on their reticulan ships on the underside of the flat Earth? I'm just making that last part up. I haven't gotten that far yet. Your Aryan form, one major step above parahuman forms. Remember, we don't have periods when we're parahumans, and we also don't sweat. But with your AF form, you're created, fully grown, beautiful, and youthful, that do not require water, food, or defecation. Aryan forms don't shit, because they will have maintained by secondary Godhead Sun energy. The DNA and internal organs of future Aryan forms will be decidedly different and better than any of the above. Aryan forms, like parahuman forms, will have no reproductive capability, but will still be sexually enhanced. What does that mean? What does that mean? If you have no reproductive capability, what does sexually enhanced mean? Are they gonna have, like, giant genitalia? Like, something you'd see on, like, DeviantArt? Is that what we're talking about? Okay, we're getting into pictures of women, so I'm gonna have to switch to this while I skim through and make sure there's no... Oh, there's the titties. Okay, scroll down. Okay. Now we're into ambrosia. I found the ambrosia. Within the matrix of parahuman and Aryan forms, this is a clear, tasty, gel-like substance with a slight aphrodisiac property in the breasts of women and the penises of men. To always have a little ambrosia in one's body, one has to radiate purified erotic affection or sensuality daily. A key component of God-realized culture, of course. In turn, this results in the production of ambrosia, a little at a time. That which happens with fellatio will also happen with suckling breasts, i.e. triggering an orgasm in the woman. Oh my god. Any excuse. This is common with most cults. They will, a lot of cults. The only one I could think of that doesn't was Heaven's Gate. That really, they went the complete opposite way. I think most of them were celibate, forced to be celibate. But these people, Avatar apparently wants you to suckle each other every day for that ambrosia. Jesus. Oh, now we're getting into orgies. We're gonna have orgies with the saints. I like this. That is why adherents of traditional religions have a lust-ridden or stanky is in quotes, stanky presence after they leave their bodies and return to the infinite light of God. Oh, y'all is stanky. I go into the differences between a Roman-style orgy and a Radiant-style orgy. Apparently, the Roman orgy is lust-ridden, disgusting, and damages one's inner god spark. And the spiritual one is uplifting as well as sexually and emotionally fulfilling. Oh no. This kind of explains all of the saints are female. The 60-40 rule of astral polyamorous radiance comes into play when you have a feminine saint or actualized goddess desiring to maintain her relationship with her pre-ascended or post-ascended master, while also openly and honestly pursuing an intimate relationship with a radiant lover. This is also common in cults where it's like when you join, you don't know about the polyamory aspect, and it's not always consensual polyamory. It's more like I don't want to say forced, because I mean it kind of is, because you're kind of brainwashed into believing that this is what you have to do within this religion to reach your godhood or whatever. Coerced polyamory, there we go, like under duress. For post-ascended female masters, there is a 70-30 rule of physical polyamorous radiance, whereby 70% of the radiant sensuality always goes to the main relationship. So they have rules. This seems like, I wonder if, does Abadar have, he's still waiting on his goddess, because I don't think Ariel, I've already forgotten her name. I don't think she can't come yet because Chris Angel's keeping her away. So why are we, Sophia, that's her name, Sophia. So why is this even listed in here? If I'm reading way too much into it. It's a made-up religion by a dude who just wants to bang a bunch of chicks. Okay. Once a week, a clothing optional gathering. Fuck. Which means that one can wear clothes as long as they are not tacky. No thongs or tasteless lingerie. All will be held on one of the tropical islands in the Aryan archipelago. There we go, archipelago. Examples of acceptable attire for women are found here. I do not want to click that link, and I'm not, because I'm pretty sure it's not going to be good. Only the most spiritually stable masters will be invited to participate. These clothing optional gatherings can turn into Aryan radiant orgies, but not for everyone. This is best. So only a few people get to take part in the orgies, not everybody. Some of y'all just gotta watch. God. Oh no. Oh god. Sexual intercourse is not a given at any ARO, which is your Aryan radiant orgies. What is given is feeling the highly erotic sensual energy. You may not have sex, but you're gonna be horny the whole time. Biogenesis. The process of someone on the 8th plane or higher in the infinite light using the God Force to create an upscale, fully grown humanoid body. Be it a parahuman, more advanced than the genetic, we've already gone with a parahuman is, or an AF, an Aryan form. Apparently they can just make people once you reach the 8th plane or higher. You could just, I guess, will someone, a form, into being. Auric basic security. Abs. I like that, abs. The highly telepathic, radiant, sensual, and clothing optional Orient culture with everyone in youthful, beautiful bodies. Everyone's gonna be sexy. It's gonna be an island of sexy people. An island of sexy people. And Avadar is gonna be the center. Oh god. Apparently everyone will have a sky blue colored physical shield around each man and woman on Aria Organia, which is apparently the island. The purpose of which is to prevent unwanted physical intimacy. It's a rape shield. Okay. For the ABS to be deactivated, there must be radiant interplay between the two consenting adults. Well, at least, even though it's a sex cult, at least there is a mention of consent. Now, is it enthusiastic consent on both parts? Who knows, considering how he feels about everything else. The ABS shield will allow men, and especially women, to dress as provocatively and as scantily as they wish, even nude in public, radiating purified sensuality or purified affection without fear of sexual assault, much less rape. Everyone will still have to reject lusty energy. How do you reject lusty energy? How do you do that? Do you just like turn your brain off? APS, which is Auric Prime Security. In addition to the ABS physical shield, there will be a spiritual shield in order to prevent long-range radiant erotic seduction, telepathic manipulation. Every residence on Aria Organia will have APS spiritual shielding. Intense white in color, but only clairvoyantly visible. Weird. So there's gonna be a bunch of homes where you've got your... This sounds like Evangelion. Like the AT fields. Except they're AB. He's pulling from everywhere. Oh my god. Oh. There's so much. I want to know how long it took him to write all this. You got your quotients for your evolution. Those are your, oh god, more pictures. Oh shit. There you go. See, there's a post-ascended lesser god. Pulled from a movie. You'll, oh, look at that. It's, Captain Marvel. Ugh. Got your, references to pop culture characters, Greek gods and goddesses. He attributes his own religion to those. Radiant conjugal greeting. Sexual intercourse following and during. That's just your greeting. You're gonna get it in as a greeting. Wonderful. There's so much sex in this. It almost becomes like a main, like a big thing. Like your sensuality index. Oh god. What? Generated feelings of purified eroticism derived from spiritual sexual purity cultivation. The greater the SI, the greater the erotic pleasure from feeling that energy. Let's see. Who has the highest? Master Avadar has an SI rating of 18 million plus. 18 million plus. That's a lot of SI. All the feminine discarnate saint companions, also known as radiant concubines of Master Avadar, have a rating of 7 or better. So he has radiant concubines. So it's 18 million. Does that mean he really has this thing with no thongs? But the 18 million. So does that mean... I know that it dictates your sexual evolution, but is 18 million good or bad? I mean, I assume it's in his view good, but compared to like Alexa, who is a saint, she's only 108. Like how, like the closest one to him is Ishtar, which is 3,900. What is 18 million? Does that like the equivalent of like a dick out of this world? Like platinum dick? Is that what it is? I do not understand, because there's really no metric of comparison. Like the greater the SI, the greater the erotic pleasure in feeling that energy. Okay. Well, 18 million I would think would be painful. Just be painful to be around them. Saint Amelia on March 28th, 2020. Lord Avadar's sexual energy is much more advanced than anyone else. Consequently, his sexual relationships with the self-proclaimed concubine wives is much more intensely passionate than in any monogamous relationship when post-ascended and SGS empowered. He will easily project his purified erotic love from afar to all of his guardian goddesses and titillate them into total sexual subservience whenever he sees them. To the enlightened onlooker, it will appear that we have no self-control whatsoever. But those who really know understand that radiating purified sensuality back, mandatory with him, while surfing his tidal wave of erotic affection, is far more satisfying than can be conveyed in written word. Avatar's a Chad. He has Chad energy. Just every one of his concubines in like 100-mile radius are just gonna just be, oh my god. Avatar on May 11th, 2020. The point should also be made that if my discarnate saint companions were lusty beasts who didn't radiate purified sensuality back to me and regularly in radiant interplay, my erotic radiance would not trigger in them those over-the-top pleasurable sensations. I feel... It sounds bad. It sounds real bad. It sounds not fun. No. He's edited this since I last saw it. There wasn't all of this in here. Like the polyamorous sex Devi, excuse me. None of this was in this. When I first looked, none of it. When was this added? It had to have been May. It had to have been. Did he suddenly decide he had to explain all the sex? Apparently so. This part, the music that is spiritually interpreted, that stuff was in here. But the other stuff was not. It was not. There was not some saint saying that, oh, Avatar's a sex god. That was not. No. That's new. Now we have God Realized Masters are also martial artists. So not only do they bang a bunch of chicks, they can also kick your ass. And they go into Revelations, which is weird considering. Got mentions of Jimi Hendrix. ultimate prophecies. Eating children again. Antimatter torpedoes. All 44 humanoid realms in existence are under the domination of the Reticulan Empire. Okay. Golden cities. Seems like your typical doomsday prophecies, just with some spicy aliens put in. Very spicy. Oh, no. We've got more naked ladies. Let's skip those. Lots of nipples. Oh, no. Oh, boy. Stop putting naked people on here, Avatar. Okay. It goes into what each saint, when upgraded. The problem that we found with an ascended spiritual master upgrading a discarnate saint is doing it painlessly. The configuration needed to be in a healing capacity, emphasizing current spiritual components of the personality instead of replacing them. This then will enable Master Avadar to upgrade all his saint radiant concubines into lesser gods. He's apparently having trouble dispersing their skill points without pain. Wonder where he's gonna put all their skill points. Probably only in the sexiest skills. Horrific wars in the physical sense ongoing in the discarnate realms are predicted to occur between the forces of light and the forces of darkness. So we're gonna have sexy Sith and sexy Jedi fighting it out. Okay. Like I said, you've got very typical hallmarks of science fiction within Avatar's cult. Because it's a cult. And if you could write a fan fiction that merges the Bible, L. Ron Hubbard's entire bibliography, and Star Wars, you got it. It's all here. You got an energy transmission sword. It's a godlight sword. Jesus sword. Light sword. Lightsaber. It's the same. Teaches you how to cultivate your sacred energy. Phoenix birds. He's just throwing stuff in. Like I said. Here's some more updates that were not here when I first read. A warning was given from the spirit of a theoretical physicist, J. Robert Oppenheimer, who was the Manhattan Project, the atomic bomb. He helped produce the atomic bomb. In any rebellion against the Zaytan Empire, even if all the nuclear and antimatter weapons of the Reticulan forces are somehow inoperable, through advanced telekinesis, in, on, and around Terra, the Imperial High Command in the Zeta 2 Reticuli system would immediately order the obliteration of this world, despite the local Reticulan element also being wiped out, with equally destructive non-nuclear weapons deployed in highly maneuverable and extremely fast long-range probes. And then a month later, well, not even a month later, 9 days later, Robert added, if the above is attempted, vainly I might add, after the universal nuclear disarmament is manifested by post-descended Avadar, when Avadar ascends, everyone will have to destroy their nuclear weapons, apparently. He's going to bring world peace. I don't see the Zeta 2 Reticuli system surviving the annihilation photon bolts of the probable Orion virtual at Venus. And then just recently, on July 1st, destroying the Zeta 2 Reticuli system is not a good idea because there are many innocent slaves who reside there. These need to be teleported away. All offensive and defensive measures need to be done with surgical precision. So not only is he going to end nuclear, or he's going to do nuclear disarmament of everyone, he's going to save the slaves in another galaxy. Insanity. Long-term breeding programs. Oh, now we're getting into the gray aliens. Reptilians and praying mantises, and to a lesser extent greys, are prone to bacteriological infections. Why not just call it bacterial infections? And viruses when on the surface of Terra. The purpose of their long-term breeding program is to produce a race of hybrids that don't have biological weaknesses, therefore can be deployed as a surface army whenever the Zetans wish to orchestrate an official invasion from Antarctica. We must have skipped over that part where it explained that the Zetans are in Antarctica. On the flat Earth. In the donut universe. The Zetans are gonna invade us from Antarctica. No. Ben Rich's prophecy, March 22nd, 2020. 1. The Reticulan Empire implanted the C-19 virus in Wuhan in order to weaken the global population. Praying mantis and reptilian aliens are planning a blitzkrieg of Terran surface governments. The Reticulan blitzkrieg will utilize hybrids as the occupational army. The Space Empire is waiting for C-19 to make it easier for them to orchestrate their coup. It is the goal of the Reticulan Empire to establish a global a global government in order to improve their harvesting and subjugation. The aliens did COVID. Avatar's onto something. Oh, I like the little added bits he's put in. They're just random. More sex stuff. Equivalent biological age. The level and facet of spiritual development that Master Avatar was at that particular age. See, this whole religion... Oh, here we go. Antarctica is periodically revised as well. So he's apparently constantly updating at least the Antarctica part. Because I don't only remember seeing the thing about the Atalan and Anunnaki. I don't remember seeing a lot of this other stuff. They go into World War II stuff. Admiral Byrd. Yep, now we've got Nazis. In the very early morning hours on 9/19/19, the spirit of one of the women who was part of the LA film crew who died in 2002 in Antarctica made a statement to Master Avatar. We were all shot and killed with submachine guns by Nazi soldiers who had a swastika on their uniforms. Our bodies were then dragged off and disposed of. There's Nazis in Antarctica. I think that was a movie. I swear to God, I think that was a movie. Everything. Oh no. High-tech underground cities. And not all of them are directly allied with one another. Godcraft versus technology, time travel. This is his biography. Okay, now we're getting into Paul Richard himself. He's had 404 incarnations. This was just revised on the 12th. It's the 16th. This ain't, the revisions are less than a week old. He was born in 1960s. He started out as a tarot and aura reader and a UFO researcher. I'm stunned. He won online awards, very prestigious. Avadar has been an intuitive and spiritual medium since the 80s. He has a history degree. The soul of Avadar, who has been using a form of God Yoga HCR. The website's messing with me now. Regularly since 1981. Is formerly the Greek statesman, general, and admiral Themistocles. So he's Themistocles. Later, the Macedonian general Ptolemy the First. Later, Saul of Tarsus, and even later, a Cathar priestess. Wonder what other very famous people he's been. Avadar literally radiated for centuries in what constituted to be a long-term, unparalleled spiritual preparation. Avadar was placed on an accelerated growth pattern. He doesn't have to wait like everybody else. He was born prematurely through cesarean, suffered traumatic illnesses as a baby. He was abused as a child by the Yellow Group entities, which again are Jesus and Chris Angel. He experienced great abuse as a youth, emotionally persecuted and sometimes physically bullied. Well, if you run around talking about fucking aliens, you're gonna get fucking bullied. He evolved more quickly than everyone else because he's uwu special. 1978, shortly after high school, Avadar went to a Halloween dance at a campus in Northern Virginia Community College. Unbeknownst to him at the time, he was already a pre-ascended psionic saint. There, he met a gifted tarot reader and also a much older woman, a Catholic mystic, who did automatic writing and identified itself as the helping hand. So, did he begin a relationship with this woman while he was in high school or shortly after high school? I'm confused. Automatic writing through a much older woman was to concentrate on the colors of the rainbow in order to strengthen one's spirit. By 1979, he had already learned from reading the work of the spirit guide Seth through Jane Roberts that he was the soul of Paul of Tarsus, and that he was here to start a new system of spiritual thought that is non-Christian, no worship of Jesus, that would be finalized by the year 2075. So what started all this, if she existed, was the much older Catholic mystic woman he found at a Halloween party at a community college. Makes sense. The woman also stated that they saw him having a highly priestly life in the Middle Ages. In the 1980s, that past life was independently identified through a PhD in anthropology who was also a channeler. Ugh. Ugh. That's for another video about past life channeling. That's interesting all on its own. That's a whole different level of weird. More Bill O'Hara stuff. In the fall of 1980, Avatar continued to evolve. George Mason University. He had a small group of classmates that helped him open up psychically. Apparently he began to experience astral attacks, which apparently felt like electric shocks. Many spirits were insanely jealous of his spiritual development. The spirits made him get chickenpox. A female Asian doctor at Prince William. Why did he have to specify Asian? But okay. Told him that she could not do anything for his illness. That he had pox all over his body and that he should just go home and take some aspirin. He dropped out of GMU for the rest of the semester and suffered illness for weeks, which almost killed him. With some hair loss, he became much stronger from the experience. Okay. So he got the chicken pox. Claims it nearly killed him. And he lost some hair. But it made him stronger. Why couldn't his spiritual guides help prevent his chicken pox? Why would his spirit guides let him get chicken pox? The soul of Saint Alexa, formerly Dorothy Stratton, and Avatar planned in the spirit on meeting and marrying prior to their birth. He met up with a spirit of a dead actress and planned on marrying prior to Avatar's birth in 1960. The forces of Yellow Energy Group entity evil prevented them from ever meeting in the physical sense, and she was murdered by her estranged husband Paul Snyder in 1980 to slowly become Avatar's main discarnate companion and spirit guide. She played and plays a key role in the formation of Solist Mysticism and the culture of future utopic Arya Organia. Did he develop a religion because he was obsessed with an actress that was murdered in the 80s? So he developed a religion that does reincarnation so that he could eventually, I guess, be with her through reincarnation. In 1983, supportive spirits granted him a gift of astral projection in his sleep. He apparently retrograde. He enslaved. He enslaved all the spirits that opposed him. Okay. That whole little section of 1983 is word salad. Around the turn of the century, when posting and receiving awards in a now defunct UFO forum that was led by an abductee named Ed, he had the experience of a typical reticular Zayton paralysis beam that is a precursor to abduction. The Zaytans were obviously monitoring the website. He wasn't... Was he abducted? No, he was just slightly dead. No, what? Okay, so the beam didn't paralyze him. He has an immunity to the paralysis beam. And it awoken his abilities. Okay. Oh, here we have an actual year by year. Where's his son? His son's not even mentioned. This is the end, but they don't even it doesn't even mention his son. Okay. We're gonna go back up and we're gonna check out his Kiora. Where are they at? Did he take them off? No, there they are. He said he had a degree in history from was it 1989 or was it before then? Well, there's his credentials. Trident School of Hypnotherapy. But he has like almost 1,000 answers. He's never asked a question. Never. He just goes around answering questions. He says he's an alien researcher. It's fascinating. Because he always links back every question back to his own cult. Like, there you've got your practical measures to avoid Zaytan abductions. It just leads back. He goes into the C-19 virus. He goes into Elon Musk. He's not under the opinion that we live in a simulation. But if more evidence were presented, he would change his mind. Is that Paul? No, that can't be Paul. Let's see who this is. Paul Richards' answer to magic is real. The Egyptian pyramids were built with the help of spells and magic. Science knows this and still denies it and removes the evidence that magic is real. Why are scientists like this? Now this is a Bob Lazar. Okay. That's not Paul. See, these questions, he was just answering questions yesterday. He answered a lot of questions yesterday. This man is busy. This is all he does. I want to know what his day job is. Does he just sit on Kiora and link back to his own website? If an alien spacecraft crash landed in your backyard and the alien aside politely asked to spend the night in your house, what would you do? Little to no damage has been done and the alien doesn't specifically ask you to keep it a secret. Paul's answer? It is illegal to have extraterrestrial contact. You will be consequently arrested and go to jail. You can't talk to an alien, you'll go to jail. Talking about Roswell. I mean, he has been a busy boy. These are all from yesterday. At the 14th. Does he do this he does this every day, doesn't he? 14th, the 13th. See if he has any on the 12th. If he has any on the 12th, I'm gonna say he does this every day. Every single day. He is who's he following? E. He follows E. Where's the other 4? He does have 50 followers though, so people are obviously interested in what he has to say, but are they interested as like practitioners, or are they only interested as, you know, observers of kooky? Because I mean, I'm an observer of the kooky. I'd probably follow him if I was on Quora, just because I mean, he can make it up, but your typical person probably could not make it up. There's a lot to unpack with our friend Paul. But we're coming on 2 hours, so we'll switch to something a little more, maybe not as kooky as Paul, but still pretty kooky. Deadwing Dork has a live stream about Ashtar. That's right, I'm using another content creator as my segue. We're going to check out the Galactic Federation of Light and the Pleiadians. What are they? I'm not exactly sure because I can't find a straight answer. I'm pretty much going into this blind, but videos I've seen on the Galactic Federation of Light is that we are our entire civilization was created and developed by outside extraterrestrial intervention, interdimensional groups. If that makes any sense. This website is a channeler for the Galactic Federation of Light. So you've got your resistance, your shared, what's the shared values? What do they believe in? Oh boy, some of these aren't new. And they're weirdly organized. Somebody was very busy on Christmas Eve. Culture hacking? This must be a very old website. Let's check out their Instagram instead. That appears to be, when was this posted? 2016. So either they've moved, maybe they're on Twitter. They're very hard to pin down. Oh, their Twitter's gone. Let's see if I can search it. Galactic Federation of Light. Twitter. I could have sworn I pulled it up earlier and it was. Well, they've got a hashtag. Oh, fucking QAnon. You know what? We're gonna check this out. QAnon Michelle. QAnon is the Galactic Federation of Light headed by the higher Pleiadian soul of John F. Kennedy Sr. named Orit Q, plus a mix of other races of ETs, mostly Arcturians and Pleiadians, as well as a few trusted humans, both military and non-military, and President Trump is Q+. Jesus fucking Christ, what is this? We're gonna actually go back and we're gonna hit the hashtag for Galactic Federation. Nope, energy map, red pill, new Templars, Ashtar command. We're gonna hit Ashtar command. This is gonna be fun for like the last 10 or 15 minutes of the stream. there's a podcast talking about Ashtar. Do we think Ashtar is poly? Hashtag yes. What is going on? What is this? Energy map? What is an energy map? Light forces are still fighting the Cabal and underground. Are they saying the clouds are ships? I don't... Oh, they made a They've turned Ashtar Command into an anime. We might have to look more into that. I will probably post about that on Twitter. Oh my god, more. This is an actual thing. The Dark Elites are very scared right now. It's just interesting how the Ashtar people are crossing over with the QAnon people. See? God darn. See, Ashtar Command, QAnon. What is going on? It's bizarre. Something you don't typically see is alien cults crossing over this with mainstream political conspiracy. Because, I mean, your typical person on Twitter, and even outside of Twitter, knows what QAnon is. But if you ask them, what's Ashtar Command? They're gonna look at you like you're stupid. And you're gonna have to explain blonde-haired aliens that look like, you know, Tolkien elves. They think there's coded information from Ashtar through Q, I guess. Q, it's time we the people unite, stand, and refuse to go to work, buy their crap, pay those illegal taxes, and hashtag demand, hashtag R, hashtag inheritance, hashtag we, hashtag R, hashtag warriors, hashtag we built it all, hashtag Area 51. And it's just... You know what? I'm gonna tweet a couple of people after this stream, and I'm gonna see if they want to go in on another stream maybe next week to talk about Ashtar Command and QAnon. This is a wild... I would go so far as to say this is more wild than our friend Paul. Like, Paul only really has himself and maybe the few people on Quora. But QAnon is like cancer. It has spread like everywhere. So it almost makes me think that the Ashtar Command people are using QAnon as a vehicle to spread their own shit. Because Ashtar Command has been around for a long time. And I just... oh, they got... We're gonna end the stream on this image. Got our very effeminate Bishy Ashtar down here. Or Jesus right up here. Or a big chunk of crystal. Or Trump patch. And a Trump coin. Oh. We'll be back sometime next week. Hopefully. I'll see about getting some other people to make the stream a little more fun. But that'll be it.